Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for visiting my channel again. I'm really glad to see you here. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe, all right? Like and comment. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, let's start a discussion about this, right? Let me know your thoughts at the end of the video, right? Let me know what you think, what you thought. So in this video, guys, also just a disclaimer, right? I do have a lot of different certificates in fitness. I also have a diploma in nutrition, okay? Yeah, and as you know, on top of that, which I think is much more important than any really formal education, right? Is I have a passion for nutrition and fitness, right? So I also have personal experience, right? And in my book, nothing can really beat personal experience, okay? You know, uh, throughout my years, I've used myself as a lab rat, right? And I've tried all kinds of different diets, um, you know, uh, and while some were a lot more effective, right, and perhaps yielded better results than others, right, um, eventually I came to the realization that what I was doing was really, I was depriving myself in many ways, right? And, and that the diets that I did try, right, um, never really, they were never about sustainable eating or kind of eat to live, right? And they weren't balanced, right? And in life everything is about balance, everything has to be about balance, right? When there's no balance, um, it's it's not going to take you very long to for something to happen, right? In order for you to hopefully get back to that balance again, right? So whenever something is out of balance, right, something ends up suffering, right? And so yeah, I think a lot of diets are ultimately, it's a $1 billion industry, right? And they're not. Um, First of all, we all have different bodies, right? Our bodies work in different ways. um, of course, we do have same biology. We function the same way, right? But at the end of the day, the way that our bodies work, for example, our metabolism, right? Our body types, um, they're they're different. Okay, so our genetics, right? So we have to consider those factors, right? Our blood types, even our blood types, right? So anyway, we have to consider those things, right? Uh, and while maybe one diet might work wonderfully, right, for one person, it might not be for me, right, because of all of those things that I just mentioned, right? Including maybe I forgot to mention like your exercise. Your activity level, right? How much do you move around, right? How often do you go to the gym, right? Do you work at a sitting, like a desk job, right? Or do you work outside, right? And you're always active, right? What kind of foods are you eating, right? The quality of your foods, right, is a huge factor. I'm going to discuss in this video. I'm going to discuss all of those things, right? We're going to talk about the different body types and why you should focus on intuitive eating. Okay, then we're going to go into the modeling world, right, and the entertainment industry, right? And guys, I've been in that industry for a very long time. I'm not in it anymore. Okay, I've been in it since I was 15. Okay, and I was scouted by huge modeling agencies like Ford in New York, right, and Elite in Miami, right. I will discuss these industries, and the reason being is because a lot of them do relate as to your conditioning, right, and why you eat the way that you do, okay, and why you perhaps follow the dieting trends, right, and why you think um, that your body should look uh, a certain way, right? And why perhaps you're not okay with your body right now, right? So I'm going to discuss all of that, okay? And I'm gonna help you out and I will kind of show you as to how you can go, what the things that you can do um, to start eating intuitively, right? And to start kind of like working with your body, right? And listening to it, listening to its needs, right? And because guys, make no mistake about it, okay? If your body works well, right? If your hormones are balanced, right? If you're giving your body the right types of foods, right? And also, I'm very sorry if you're in America, guys. I no longer live there, right? Although I am an American citizen, right? I when I lived in America, I just did not touch milk. I did not touch bread. I did not eat a lot of foods basically because of the way that they're produced, because of what's in them, right? And so, guys, I will say another thing, right? It isn't just about intuitive eating, right? It's also about um, quality, okay, guys. Quality is so imperative, okay. So if you are in America, I highly recommend that I know it's not easy for it's not realistic for many people, right? But really try to grow your own food, okay? Where I'm at, right? I'm not in America. I'm in Europe, right? In Bulgaria. Here, where we live, many people grow their own food, right? There are a lot of farmers around us, and that is just so so wonderful, right? And when you know that your food has been produced by you, right? When you've produced your own food, you know what goes into it, right? You know which chemicals you use to grow it. You know that nothing has been injected into the food, right? Nothing has been, you didn't do anything to alter it, basically, right? So yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? So you know what you're getting is quality, right? With store bought food, right? Especially if you buy your food like in places like Walmart, right? Or places that have low quality food, right? Uh, you know that what you're getting is not going to be good for your body, right, guys? Because also the food, just think of food as information that your body is getting, okay? So your body can either get um, quality food, whereas it's good information to your body. It tells your body to keep you healthy, right? To maintain your health, to even heal you, right? Heal certain aspects, and they need healing, right? Like for example, vitamin C, right? Perhaps usually I realize that whenever I'm about to get sick, right? If there's like a cold that's going around, or the flu, or maybe my kiddo just got sick, right? And he has a cold, right? My body usually starts craving like oranges or mangoes, right? By the way, mangoes have a lot more vitamin C than oranges, okay? So so mangoes are even better to eat than oranges or lemons whenever you're about to get sick, right? And vitamin C, right? Let's go back to vitamin C. So mangoes and oranges contain a lot of vitamin C, which strengthens our immune system, right? Which helps us heal wounds, right? If we're wounded. And it basically kind of supports our immune system, right? So if our immune system is in need of that support, then you can eat certain foods to help you to either prevent sicknesses, right, or to help you heal, right, or to to just support your existing health, right? And so yes, guys, and the same applies to bad foods, right? Bad foods, they have a certain effect on our body too, right? It's also, think of it as sending your body the wrong information, okay? And in turn, your body will get sick, right? And so yes, a lot of it, of course, is hormonal, right? It relates to our hormones, right? And um, for example, right, you can increase testosterone by eating certain foods, right, which is interesting, right? Or you can decrease it, right, which will ultimately make you feel and act a certain way, okay? Um, so that's quite interesting, right? What else? Also, certain exercises, right? They have. I'm not gonna go into exercises now too much, but doing certain types of exercises also has a strong impact on your hormones, right? And this in turn impacts your muscles, right? It impacts everything in your body, right? So, by doing like certain types of exercises, you can get stronger, you can get leaner, right? And you can see better results, basically, right? So you need to know which exercises to like focus on, right? In order to see the best results, and even maybe the quickest results, although I'm a high believer as to giving everything time, okay? I know a lot of us we go on diets, right? And we expect results, fast, quick results, right? But that's not realistic, guys. As far as if you consider everything in life, right? Good things take time. If you want to build, um, a certain type of a diet, right, might yield you uh, pretty decent results, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be sustainable, okay? It doesn't mean that you'll be able to sustain them, especially if you go back to eating the way that you were eating, or in a similar way, okay? That's what I noticed too, right? So, intuitive eating, right? And I think by eating intuitively, you will be able to get results, right? But they're probably not going to be quick results, right? And they're going to be sustainable. You'll be able to sustain them throughout your entire life, right? So that's the beauty of it, basically, okay? Okay, guys, I thought that this video is going to be short, but my introduction is already like 13 minutes long. Anyway, so yeah, just be it, right? Anyway, so I'm gonna try to kind of, I don't know, kind of race through these because I don't want to make a video that's too long. Okay, but I do have a lot of things to say. Anyway, so we're going to go into your conditioning, okay? Your brainwashing. You've been conditioned to accept a certain body type as something that is sexy and desirable, okay? And it applies to girls and guys, right? We've been conditioned that a certain body type is sexy, it's desirable, it's even healthy sometimes. We think that, for example, we look at the six pack abs, right? And we automatically think that person is in shape, right? They're in the best shape of their lives. And they're so healthy, right? And we just assume way too many different things that are not the truth, right? Anyway, so guys, let me just give you, let me go into a personal experience with this, okay? And I've had six pack abs, okay? I have abs right now, right? They're not six pack abs, but I have a pretty lean my belly is nice and defined, right? It's I don't have six pack abs like I used to, right? And I don't think I really want to go there again, to be honest with you. So and why is that, right? Well, first of all, because for the most part, right, having a really really low body fat, especially as a woman, right, it's not healthy. Okay, you kill your hormones basically, right? Your sex drive significantly decreases. Okay, your energy levels, right, they just go down. Your body is basically in survival mode, right? You lack the energy to do anything. Okay, so you're always tired, because you're lacking that fat, right, that extra insulation kind of, right, that comes from fat, you're more prone to getting injured, right? If you do fall, for example, right? Also, you get cold very easily, okay? You don't have that extra layer of fat to kind of keep you warm, right? So there's that too, right? So when I was really really thin, right, when I but I still did have some muscle on me, right, because I was big into weightlifting, right? So but yeah, once I had those six pack abs, right, basically all I did was I ate vegetables, right, and tofu. And I quit, lifting weights, and I just started walking all the time, just walking, 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 right? And yeah, I did get the body of most women's dreams, right? When I did runway shows, right? When I did photo shoots, women were just like, and guys, right? They were just coming up to me. They were like, "Oh my gosh, your abs," right? I was basically like getting worshipped by people, right? Which is so ridiculous. And and in my head, I was thinking, "Geez, you guys don't know what it takes. You guys don't understand. All you see is like the final product, right? Um, and you think that this is desirable, right? But really it wasn't. I was in a really bad state in my life. Also, I was kind of depressed, right? I was um yeah, I wasn't eating enough. I was always hungry, right? I didn't have any energy. I barely had energy to go to these castings, right? I slept all the time, so my health was really, really suffering, okay? So ultimately, right, having a very low body fat, or having a six pack or even a four pack as a female, it is not healthy. It is not good for your health, okay? So what is promoted to you in Hollywood, right? Hollywood. um, it's um, it's not. It is not good for your health. Okay, you're also shown a certain type of a body type, right? So let me just go into this just really quickly. Okay, I started out modeling when I was 15, right? And that's also when my perception of what a healthy body got significantly skewed, and I started thinking that I was fat and that I needed to lose weight all the time, right? Even though I wasn't. I was a thin person, right? I was an athlete, right? I had a very healthy body. I had some muscle on me. I was very basically very healthy, lean, and just energetic, right? And when I started modeling, all of that began to change. Okay. Of course, the first thing that happens when you go into the modeling agency as a model, right, is that they tell you you're fat and that you need to lose weight, right? So they have certain standards, right, and certain proportions that models need to maintain. They even measure you. If this um, if it can get even even more like humiliating than this, right? If anything, so this is like extremely humiliating, right? You have to wear a bathing suit and they measure you. And if models gain any weight, right, if they go above that requirement, right, that the agencies have, then they lose work. Then they have to sit out. Then they might even get thrown out of the agency, you know. I've had this happen to me too, you know. And so yeah, anorexia, you know, in the modeling industry is worshipped, you know. And a lot of girls that go into modeling develop anorexia because their body type is not naturally this thin. Okay, guys. Only 1 in 15 people, guys, have an ectomorphic body type, right? An ectomorphic body type, right, is very thin bones, right? Um, very basically small shoulders, right? Very thin bones, thin hips. They naturally have a very hard time gaining weight, right? They lose weight very quickly. They also have a very hard time gaining muscle as well, right? And so yeah, that's basically that's the industry standard, right? The ectomorphic body type, right? Unfortunately, guys, most people aren't it, right? Many models try to get there in an unnatural way. You know, they starve themselves, right? They and then they kind of like convince themselves that they're not starving, right? So when they're telling you that they're not starving and they're eating all the time, they're probably like telling you the truth in their own screwed up way, because in their mind how much they're eating is not starving, and in their mind it's them eating all the time, right? Or perhaps they focus on certain foods that barely have any calories, right, like salads, right? And or fruit, right? Or um, yeah, or perhaps eggs, right, like protein. Anyway, so yeah, in their mind, right, they're not starving. They're eating all the time, and they probably are, right. If they're just eating vegetables, then they're always hungry, so they do eat all the time, right. And if vegetables is what they're eating like throughout the day, right, then of course they're gonna continue. They're always going to be starving, and then they're going to eat throughout the day, right? And all the time. So what they're telling you is probably the truth, right? But um, what they're not telling you is what they're eating, right? The types of foods that they're eating, and yeah, and in their mind, right? Like a 12, I don't know, 1200 calorie diet is is eating a lot, right? While really it's not a lot of food for their activity level, right? And for their height and their their age, right? And so on. So yeah, really it's all relative, right? Anyways, guys, so back to the body types, right? And back to the conditioning, right, guys? So, anyways, I'm gonna talk a little bit about. I went into agencies, right? And so they have different requirements as far as whether the model can maintain her job or lose it, right? If she does go over a certain proportions, right, that she needs to maintain, she's going to lose her job basically, right? Or she's gonna sit out, right? She's not gonna get a lot of work, right? So there's that, right? And so who maintains, or who is ultimately behind that requirement? It's not the agencies, okay, guys? The agencies are just getting models jobs work, right? It's actually the designers, okay? It's the designers, the often very narcissistic designers who ultimately hate humanity, right? They're completely anti-human. So they get to dictate what you guys are seeing in magazines, okay? What you guys are seeing in commercials, what you guys are seeing on billboards, what you guys are seeing on TV, okay? The models are merely products, right, that are used. the agencies are just merely intermediaries, right? They just tell models what the designers require, right? Ultimately, the agencies just simply care about the money, right? They just want to get paid as much as possible, and that's all, right? So they nothing is in their hands, really, right? And so yeah, it comes down to designers, right? So ultimately the designers get to, because they're the client, they pay, right? um, Ultimately they get to dictate the rules, right? They get to decide what happens, right? And so they're the ones who and because they also want to, if you consider like business, I suppose, right? um, um, they want to use as they look at, like, for example, runway models, right? They're looked at as hangers, as screwed up as this sounds, right? And so they need someone that is really small, right? First of all, because they cut costs on uh, materials, right? So when they do make their sample sizes, right, they want to use as little material as possible, right? Because they don't want to spend money on that, right? So ultimately, it also comes down to cutting costs, right? Ultimately, guys, and what you're seeing on billboards, what you're seeing being advertised, right? You're seeing all these sexy models, right? And what you're getting, and what the teenage girls are getting is like role models, right? It's someone that is on a magazine cover, right? It's someone who is, many models, right? When we were when we took pictures, right? When we kind of we did commercials, right? We were so happy and smiling, right? So you're not getting the real person here, right? But the public thinks it's a real person, right? They think, wow, this girl has got it all. She's on the cover of a magazine, right? She looks so happy, right? She looks so confident, right? She seems to have this high self-esteem, right? So yeah, this is all bullshit. Guys, this is all bullshit. When I was in the industry, guys, I was like the most insecure girl ever, okay? I did shows, for Nike, BB, Julian Cheng, everything but water, right? I've been on magazine covers. I've been I've done commercials, I've done little shows here and there, I've seen lots of celebrities, I've gone to parties with them and so on, right? Yet, despite all of that, guys, my what I felt like on the inside was terrible, terrible. Okay, I was depressed. I was never happy with myself, and I never felt skinny enough, ironically, right? Because once again, as a model, your own perception of what a healthy body looks like gets completely skewed. You get so ingrained into that, skinny, 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 I need to be skinnier mindset, right? As to get the jobs, that basically you kind of end up selling yourself to the devil, right? We didn't, as models, we didn't think about the implications of what we were doing, right? As far as the public went. But yes, exactly. So I think that's what happens to a lot of celebrities, right? Is they don't think about the implications of their influence. They don't think about that, but really it is. But unconsciously, guys, we spiritually speaking, right? We sell our soul to the devil, right? Because what we are doing indirectly, right, is we're impacting other people, right? We're negatively impacting other people by going along with all of this nonsense, right? By trying to fit into unrealistic standards, by developing anorexia, perhaps by promoting it, right? As models, by when you're a public figure, right? When you're on the runway, when you're on TV, right? a lot of people are going to see you. They're gonna, they're going to want to be like you or look up to you, right? And if they do, they're going to run themselves into a lot of issues, right? And those issues, um, relate to um, what you think is healthy. Okay, so you as um, someone like a member of the public, right? When you look at those magazines, when you look at those billboards, you look up to those people, right? And you kind of want to be like them. So, and what you're looking at is often a very unrealistic image, anyways, right? Once again, right? Even if you are a very very thin model already, right? Maybe you developed an eating disorder, right? A lot of these pictures also they get altered, right? A lot of them are photoshopped, right? A lot of them are not real, right? They take hundreds of pictures and they pick one, just one picture out of like hundreds of pictures, right? A photographer can take up to 1,000 pictures, right? And just pick one good one. So what you're seeing is ultimately like the best of the best, right? The best position, the best lighting, right? um eh, yeah, and on top of that they can also alter it, not always. Okay, guys, I've had a lot of also natural pictures where nothing was altered, right? But once again, it had to do with the right pose, right? The right lighting, me being in the best shape, right? So yeah, yeah, you really have to consider this, because what you're looking at, right, is not realistic. It's not real. Okay, it's not real. And often you strive to be that. You strive to be that something that you can never compete, that you can never be. Okay. So you're shooting yourself in the foot, by doing so, right? By trying to compete with something that you can never be. Okay. So guys, now that we talked about this, right, let's talk about the different body types. Okay. And so guys, the body type that you're often trying to that you think is sexy, right? That was put into your head as something that's sexy, as something that's healthy, right? The six pack abs and so on, right? Um, it's usually not what is healthy. It's usually not what will ultimately give you the best energy, right? What will make your body perform at its best in the gym, right? What will keep you healthy, basically, right? So you because all of us have different body types, right? And I'm gonna go into these a little bit here, right? So one body type is an octomorph, right? Octomorphs are kind of like, they're 1 in 15 people, right? It's a very very rare body type. It's the model body type, basically, right? It's also like, for example, right, if a guy in the gym, it's like the basketball players, right? Ever been in a situation guys, where a friend did a personal I don't think I'm gonna edit this out. My son came in, so my beautiful son. Say hi. Wanna say hi? All right, guys. So basically, back to body types, right? So the first body type is an ectomorph, right? It's your basketball players, it's your models, right? Sometimes models, um, you know, as I already explained, right? So it's your very, it's a very thin bone person, right? It's someone that has trouble gaining weight, right, and also gaining muscle. There's also a mesomorph, right? A mesomorph is somewhere in the middle, right? It's actually the body type that a lot of guys envy, a lot of, because it's like they're almost born with muscles, right? But not always, of course, right? But they do have a very easy time gaining muscle, right? And but they do have to be kind of careful with food still, right? And they have to be careful as to not overeat, because they can gain fat just as fast, right? So it's your body type somewhere in the middle, medium bone structure, right? It's usually very very this body type, mesomorphic body type, right, is favored amongst bodybuilders, right? And then there's another body type, and it's the endomorph, right? Endomorph has very big bones. They have a very hard time losing weight, right? So they have to be extremely strict with their diet. They have to be probably on some kind of a diet, right? In order to, um, um, although, you know, once again, if you do implement an intuitive eating approach, right, then probably not. But they do have to be careful with food as to not overeat because they tend to do that. They have a slow metabolism, right? Um, so um, so yeah, so those are the body types, right? You can also be somewhere in the middle, okay? And that's extremely common too, right? So guys, you have to consider that you have to consider your own and personal body type, right? And I would say you have to try to make peace with it, okay? Instead of looking at, the magazines, right? Or an external source that is trying to tell you how you should look like. You should embrace your own personal body type. You should embrace yourself. For a long time, for the longest time, I couldn't embrace my body type. I denied it. I tried to make it into something that it wasn't, right? And in turn, I starved myself. I developed an eating disorder. I was unhealthy. I felt unhealthy. I went through all kinds of different diets, right? And ultimately, it simply came down to um, accepting my body type, right? Accepting, for example, that my rib cage here, right? For modeling, it was always like it was too big, right? And I remember I just like I kind of laugh about it now, right? But I remember doing a photo shoot and I look extremely thin there, right? But still, um, you know, they brought like a couple of dresses, right, for me to wear, and the dresses they did not close in the back, right? Because of my rib cage, I naturally have like a wide rib cage. You can't change that, right? Like no amount of dieting can change that, right? And so I had to wear that dress, and I remember it like being just unzipped, completely unzipped in the back, but like you couldn't see it, right? On the picture, it looks awesome, it looks beautiful, right? But um, that's the thing that you don't know as a person, right? Like when you're looking at something, you don't know the whole picture, you know but I knew, right? And it's now that I look back, it's really really funny. My dress was completely opened in the back, and that's because of my wide rib cage, right? So of course, it did make me feel bad, right? Because once again, they brought something that was completely tiny, and I was already tiny especially for my height, especially for my body type, right? But still, that made me feel like I wasn't thin enough, right? And so yeah, you guys, it's about accepting your body shape, and loving your body shape, loving your body. As is, okay? If you do have, if you're honest with yourself, right, then you will kind of know whether you need to perhaps trim down a little bit, right? Lose some extra fat, and that is okay, right? As long as you are not trying to fit into someone else's standards, okay? As long as you're not letting your body size or body image be dictated by someone who doesn't give a damn about you, like the entertainment industry. So just consider that, and yeah, it is very important to embrace your natural body shape, right? Natural body type, and work on being your best version of yourself. Work on being healthy, right? Work on being strong, becoming strong. Work on um, you know, uh, I don't know, doing the best that you can, pushing yourself in the gym, maybe, right? Pushing yourself outside, maybe competing in something, right? But yeah, if you do that, your body shape, right? If you focus on quality foods, if you focus on your PRs outside, right? Be it on a bicycle, be it in the swimming pool, be it, in whichever exercise you're doing. If you focus on being doing the best that you can, then your body will just naturally improve, and you'll naturally get a very good body. It's just going to be like the product of all the effort that you're putting in. So guys, now I'm going to discuss, right, on why you should eat intuitively, right, and how you can go about eating intuitively. Okay, so eating intuitively really is all about trusting your body. Okay, it's all about trusting your body. It's trusting your intuition, right? And it's, for example, and also instead of focusing on calories, right? That's a pain in the ass, guys. Let me just tell you this, okay? It's such a pain in the ass to count calories, and write things down, right? What's in every single food. You don't even know really the exact, sometimes you don't know the exact calories, right? But I tried doing that in the past, right? And it was just so hectic. It took the beauty of and the joy of eating, you're basically kind of like eating like a robot, right? Oh, here are the macros and the micros that I need to eat, right? Here are the calories. Um, and if you didn't eat enough, right, which you probably don't, when you're counting calories, right, you're always hungry, you're always left unsatisfied after each meal, right? That's how a lot of bodybuilders eat, and I think it's terrible, terrible, terrible for you. You're not listening to your intuition, you're not listening to your body, right? As to how much you need to eat, right? Our bodies, guys, when they're working properly, right? When all the hormones are balanced, when when you're giving your body the right materials, right? When you trust your body, for example, um, if your blood sugar is balanced, right, then your body is naturally going to work with you, okay? It's going to tell you when you're hungry, okay? It's going to tell you when to stop eating, okay? The right hormones, once again, will be sent, right? It's all hormonal, right? The right hormones will be satiating hormone will be sent to you, right? And you will stop eating, right? Also, um, your body will tell you even what you need. If you go to a store, you'll naturally be drawn to certain foods, right? That your body needs, certain vitamins, certain nutrients, right? Maybe if you're missing some beta carotene, right, in your body, like, uh, you'll reach for those foods that have it, so carrots, right, or sweet potatoes, right? So yeah, your body is amazing, guys. I know a lot of us have been conditioned to trust the doctor and not trust yourself, right? When it comes to your body, a lot of us trust others more with our bodies than we trust ourselves with our own bodies. But once again, right? If your body is healthy, if you give your body the right things for it to prosper, right? If you build that good relationship with your body, right, then you will quickly learn that it's going to work for you. It's gonna keep you in a very good shape, okay? It's going to um, you're going to have a lot of energy, right? Your sex drive will be just fine. It will be really high, right? Your sleep is going to improve, okay? Your hair is going to finally start growing, right? My hair just completely stopped growing at a certain point. Now it's like Goldilocks, like, which is beautiful. I love that. And my nails are growing super fast now, whereas before they just stopped growing also. My skin is awesome, right? So everything is going to improve, on the once it improves on the inside, you're gonna start seeing things improve on the outside too, right? Maybe you have some acne, it's gonna go away, right? It's gonna clear. Maybe, like I said, right, your hair, your nails, uh, your skin, right? All of that will improve, right? So you will see improvements not only on the inside but on the outside. You will feel them on the inside, right, and see them on the outside too. Um, so guys, it's really all about listening to your body, right? Listening to what you need and just getting it. Listening, trusting that your body knows best. When you give it the right materials, when you work with it rather than against it, it's going to work with you. It's not gonna disappoint you, guys. I'm in a very good shape right now. I feel awesome. Um, I can lift a lot of weight for as a woman, right? I'm very strong. I'm very fast also, and that's really thanks to my body. It's and in Bulgaria, um, because I'm getting quality nutrition, right? My body actually, sometimes I find that I lose weight, right, too quickly, right? Even though I'm eating as much as I want, eh, and even though I'm eating more than ever, right? And so yeah, I eat as much as I want of healthy foods, of quality foods, and I find that I lose weight sometimes too fast. It's very strange, right? But yeah. In America, I always had the opposite problem, right? I always had to be extremely careful with what I ate. But that's because in America, food quality is terrible. A lot of things that are sold in America are banned in other countries, right? I believe like the American meat, I think pork and cattle, right? It has been banned in 160 countries. Okay, and I'm not even going to go into like the dairy products, right? Or the a lot of rice and grains and bread, right? And yeah, that it's just the way that it's grown there, the chemicals that they use, um, the genetically modified foods, right? um, they're just terrible, 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 terrible for you, right? um, you best believe, guys, that a lot of mental health problems, right? As it's all related, right? Especially food. We are what we eat, right? So if we give our bodies bad foods, right? Foods that are not even supposed to go into our bodies, they're going to um, modify the way that our bodies function. And that in turn will modify the way that we feel, the way that we behave, right? Our minds. So don't be surprised that there's so much mental illness in America, and of course it's now being it's spreading, in other places too, right? But um, yeah, yeah. So uh, nutrition is extremely important. All right. Anyways, guys, so what kind of foods can you focus on, right? I would say, once again, right, focus on quality foods. If you can grow your own food, then that's amazing, right? If you can catch your own fish, then that's even better, okay? So, uh, um, I'm not going to go into what's happening to our soil, right? Because of all of the chemicals that are being sprayed, for whatever reason, right? There are a ton of like conspiracy theories about that, right? And but of course, that's going to alter our atmosphere, right? It's going to alter our soil too, right? And I really don't know about that, right? It's It's something that I'm not gonna discuss too much here, right? But ultimately, if you try to eat as best as you can, if you focus on quality, right? If you focus on listening to your body and working with it again rather than against it, right? If you eat, like for example, wild caught fish instead of farmed fish, right? If you focus on organic meat, right? Instead of the artificially injected one, right? Or the one that has a lot of hormones in it, and the one that's kept indoors, right? Then then you should be fine, okay? But of course, what's considered quality, right now nowadays is questionable. Back in the day, everything used to be organic. You didn't even have to label your food organic, which is ridiculous, right? It just simply was, and you knew it was organic. It, but nowadays, everything is labeled bio, right, in Europe, and organic in America, right? So they can sell it for more money, so they can make more money, right? So by labeling it that, right? And the FDA allows there's certain criteria, right, that needs to be met, and sometimes it's not as high as we think, you know. Even when it comes to organic foods. Okay, so there's that, right? So yeah, try to eat organic, right? And try to grow your own, right? That is the best. Focus on whole grains, right? Don't eat white stuff because that messes with your blood sugar, right? Don't drink juices. Um, what happens when you eat, for example, white rice, right? Because it doesn't have that fiber in it, right? Your blood sugar gets spiked, right? Once your blood sugar spikes, it goes down really, really quickly. So you'll feel that energy boost, right? And once it goes down, you'll get extremely exhausted. Okay. And if you keep on eating like this, right, then your energy is just going to be up and down, up and down, up and down all day long. It's not going to be stable and steady, right? You're going to be tired all the time, right? And it's like being on drugs, So be careful with that, okay? There's also such a thing as a fat burning mode and a fat storing mode, right? But I'm probably not going to go into that in this video. But anyway, so just focus on the right foods, guys, okay? Focus on fruits, lots of vegetables, right? Um, um, just eat what your body is craving, okay? If you are giving it the right foods, once again, your body is going to crave the right foods, okay? You might have to overcome some addictions, right? If you guys are all addicted to sugar, then you might have to do some kind of a small detox, right? So you balance your hormones again, right? So you don't crave sugar all the time, right? Although everything in our body eventually turns to sugar, okay? Most people don't know this, right? But if you do have some kind of addictions right now, right, then you're going to have to kind of clear yourself from those, right? Detox. So your body can function well again, okay? So it can send you the right signals, right? So you're not craving pizza and junk food and cakes and all kinds of crappy foods that are not good for you, right? So yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this I was gonna say body. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel, and yeah, much love.